Ford is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfurt Avenue.
Generation after generation. Our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dunphy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfurt Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dunphyford.com.
Come experience the Dunphy difference. You'll be glad you did.
What does your character look like? Does it bounce back after each setback? Does it stand out by standing up? Does it make good on good intentions? Character is invisible until it's not. Only through action will the world know what it's made of, what you're made of. Find out how you can strengthen the character of your community alongside empowered veterans and families of the fallen at travismanion.org.
Welcome back inside the Crow's Nest here at LaSalle College High School. Yes, there is sound here on the broadcast, so excited to bring it to you and apologize for that little miscue. But once again, Bob Long, Kevin Long alongside, and we're very excited to bring you this broadcast. Archbishop Wood, Kevin, 8-4 in the Philadelphia Catholic League. There are seeding implications on the line. They could fall as far as these next two games go. A couple of losses could put them back in the 7-seed range, which, again, would not give them the bye in the Catholic League playoffs. A 6 seed gives you that bye from the 7 to 10 play-ins and gives you an opportunity to go up against the number 3 seed. Wins could propel them even higher. On LaSalle's side, it's very simple. Win out, and you're the number 2 team in the Philadelphia Catholic League. You play the highest seed left of that 7, 8, 9, 10 play-in area, and you propel what has been really a fantastic season thus far into the playoff push, and it's important for this team moving forward.
Yeah, certainly a lot on the line for both of these teams. Just like you said, Wood trying to avoid that play-in game. LaSalle trying to give themselves an easier road to the Palestra this year. It'll be interesting to see the mix of youth and experience that these two teams have. Wood seems to come in with a lot of youth, a lot of guys who are playing really well early on in their career, a lot of sophomores like Stinson, Diggins, guys like that. LaSalle, on the other hand, like we just saw at Senior Day, has a lot of seniors who have been here for a long time. So they've had a lot of success here. You know, guys like Alan Powell, Conrad Kiska, Zach Chrysler, guys like that. Looking forward to this matchup. I think Conrad Kiska is going to be key in this game.
Conrad Kiska has been a matchup problem for pretty much everybody he's played so far this year. I don't think tonight's any different. But I wonder if they put number 1, Julius Phillips, a wide-bodied guy, on Kiska. I think Kiska can have the speed and agility to get by him, but Phillips can match up to him size-wise and physicality-wise. It just depends what Wood is going to decide to do. It's a very interesting conundrum because in many ways, Kiska's been unguardable this year. Combination of speed, size, strength. And he's made it very difficult for anybody in the Catholic League. The other guy's Alan Powell, and I think you mentioned, off air that you think Diggins could be the guy that's going to guard Alan Powell. That's a great matchup. Diggins, a guy who is a sophomore sensation, 18 points per game in the Catholic League, and he has been on a tear recently, up over 20 in his last 5 games. It's going to be big to see if Alan Powell can continue what he's been able to do, and of course, Diggins, what he brings to the table tonight.
Yeah, you said it. I mean, these two guys have been the 2 best players on their team, especially of late. So I'm looking forward to that matchup. I think that's going to be a head-to-head battle all night. You're going to see back and forth between those players. But again, I think Conrad Kiska is the guy that will present those problems. I think that potentially Phillips could play Conrad, play him well, but I think the combinations of size and speed that Conrad possesses is what's going to put him over the edge in this one.
Senior night, you folks just saw that it was a great ceremony there, granted without sound, but saw the ceremony nonetheless. This senior class is so deep and so talented. It's one of those games that I think is an emotion-filled atmosphere for them. First 5 minutes is going to be important, I think. Can they stay calm? Can they stay together? Rotations might be a little bit different. We'll see what the starting lineup looks like. Jake Timby has started the last few games. He's a junior. A lot of times in senior night situations, you'll defer to a senior to get that fifth and final nod if you're starting 4 seniors and playing 1 underclassman. The rotations might be a little bit different early, and you wonder if LaSalle is going to be ready at the jump.
Yeah, and typically coming into a game like this, LaSalle may be a little bit timid and, a little bit melancholy, thinking about this is my last game on my home floor, and Wood's just coming in, and all they want to do is wreck that party. They just want to come in and take them down on their senior night, ruin their senior night. So I think Wood's going to come out strong. Hopefully LaSalle does not come out the way that typically teams do on senior night, but look for them to bounce back if that does happen.
And I think that's one of the things about having this many seniors as well, Kevin, is that maybe this is a different story because this is one of the more experienced teams that you'll see, a team that knows how to play under pressure. They've done it not just this year, but in the past as these seniors have built up into these now leadership roles. And I think that this team, as much as any that you'll see, is a team that's ready for a little bit of a different atmosphere, a big challenge in Archbishop Wood, and I think they will, from the jump, be ready to go, and this should be a great game between 2 teams fighting for big-time seeding implications in the always-packed Philadelphia Catholic League at the top of the standings.
Yeah, they can't forget about that from the onset. We just mentioned it's senior night. It's a big night for these guys. They're going to remember it for a long time to come, but there's a game to play here, and they need to come out ready to play or they're going to find themselves behind in a hurry.
You're watching LaSalle College High School basketball live on Bob Long Sports. Bob Long, Kevin Long alongside. We're very excited to bring you this broadcast. You can find us on Facebook. That's under LaSalle College High School. On Twitter at LaSalle_sports. And on the Bob Long Sports YouTube page where all of these games are archived. Follow us at Bob Long Sports on Twitter and, of course, LaSalle_sports for additional programming updates as we head into the final weekend of the season. Appreciate everybody once again being with us. Tip-off a little bit delayed because of those senior night festivities, but we'll take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side for tip-off. You are watching LaSalle College High School basketball live on BLS, and we'll be right back.
I would say that LaSalle is dynamic. Prepared. Active. Diverse. Brotherhood. Family.
Ford is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfurt Avenue.
Generation after generation, our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dunphy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfurt Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dunphyford.com.
Come experience the Dunphy difference. You'll be glad you did.
What does your character look like? Does it bounce back after each setback? Does it stand out by standing up? Does it make good on good intentions? Character is invisible until it's not. Only through action will the world know what it's made of, what you're made of. Find out how you can strengthen the character of your community alongside empowered veterans and families of the fallen at travismanion.org.
I would say that LaSalle is dynamic.
Prepared.
Active.
Diverse. Brotherhood. Family.
Welcome back inside LaSalle College High School. Bob Long, Kevin Long, about to have the introductions and the national anthem here at LaSalle College High School. As we do, a live look at the standings in the Philadelphia Catholic League. Many thanks to TedSolari.com on this one. Roman Catholic sitting at 11-1, and they essentially have a 2-game lead on the Explorers by virtue of the head-to-head. Remaining games against Archbishop Ryan, Bishop McDevitt. McDevitt should be a tough one. You see them at tied for second at 10-2. LaSalle has the head-to-head on both Bonner Prendy and McDevitt, so winning out would put them into the number 2 spot in the Philadelphia Catholic League. The game here tonight against Archbishop Wood, and then St. Joseph's Prep on Sunday. That's got to be the only focus for this LaSalle team here tonight. You see Wood all the way down there. They're at number 6 right now, so precarious as Archbishop Carroll plays good basketball. They took down St. Joseph's Prep here tonight, so they are now at 8-5. Wood could slide back to 8-5. So again, that 6-7 seed area is what's on the line here for Archbishop Wood. So much to play for here this evening, and there's no better place to be than watching it here on Bob Long Sports with Bob and Kevin Long. And I think all there's left to do is play the national anthem, tip this thing off, because there's so much that will be decided in this next 32 minutes. We'll now turn it down to Chris Carabello, the public address announcer here at LaSalle College High School.
Be able to stay, to follow his example of unflagging energy in pursuit of a goal, absolute loyalty to his brothers, and generosity to his opponents. As he founded the Christian schools to keep young people safe from harm and to develop the talents you gave them, grant that these young men who play today may do so free from injury and with an ever-growing respect for the gifts and strengths you have so richly blessed them with. St. John Baptist of LaSalle, pray for us. Live Jesus in our hearts. Please remain standing as we honor America, our men and women in the armed forces, and veterans of military service with the singing of our national anthem, performed this evening by Timmy Kelly, a native Philadelphian, Temple University graduate, and the Good Luck Charm for the Philadelphia Eagles, who is sung all over the United States of America.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight were the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare
My, oh my, what a rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. Tremendous story. A great job by LaSalle. Get John here this evening to deliver.
A not-for-profit organization that raises funds and awareness for special needs programs in Bucks, Montgomery, and Philadelphia counties. Tonight we have the pleasure of hosting our honorary captains and their families, as they are a big part of our team. Please turn your attention to center court as we recognize tonight's honorary captains. Matt Beckman. And Derek Israel. Now the starting lineups for tonight's game. First, for the visiting Vikings of Archbishop Wood. Number 1, a 6'5" senior, Julius Phillips. Number 3, a 6'1" sophomore, Rasul Diggins. Number 4, a 5'11" sophomore, Jalen Stinson. Number 5, a 6'2" junior, Brennan Kersey. And number 22, a 6'4" sophomore, Deshaun Shepard. Wood is coached by John Moscow. And now the starting lineup for your Explorers of LaSalle. Number 1, a 6'2" senior, Alan Powell. Number 2, a 6'2" senior, Titus Beard. Number 11, a 5'11" junior, Jay Timby. Number 10, a 6'7" senior, Conrad Kishka. And number 21, a 6'9" senior, Zach Chrysler. In his first season, LaSalle is coached by Mike McKee.
And after a little bit longer than 30 minutes of suspense, we are ready for basketball here in Winmore, Pennsylvania. Bob Long, Kevin Long, Gavin O'Donnell down in the stands doing a great job on camera, picking up all the action from the senior night celebrations and, of course, the national anthem and the starting lineups. So it's time, Kevin. It is the final weekend of the regular season of the Philadelphia Catholic League. It's been a long time getting here, and this is where it really starts to get interesting here in the high school circuit.
Yeah, Bob, just like you showed on your graphic there, the waters are very muddied right now at the top and right around where Wood is as well. A lot along the lines for these two teams.
Zach Chrysler tips it forward, but it'll come down to Deshaun Shepard, the 6'4" sophomore. He's a sensation here for Archbishop Wood, 15 points per game. Now this is Julius Phillips, takes it at the high post, and Shepard traveled with the basketball, and an opening possession turnover for Archbishop Wood. It is the normal starting five with Jake Timby, the junior, rounding out the lineup of 4 seniors. Kiska picks up his dribble. Flashing to the top of the key is Chrysler. Chrysler with a handoff for Timby. He had 14 points, a career high against Roman Catholic, and really got the offense going. Now Chrysler, guarded by the smaller Rasul Diggins, spins to the baseline, off the glass and good. What a move by Zach Chrysler.
And a good job by Chrysler using his size to back down inside and get the bucket he wanted.
Julius Phillips, no good. Shepard comes down with the long rebound. And I'll add to that, Kevin, he did a great job of being patient. Here's the lob for Shepard. Big time jam to get things started for the Vikings.
Zach Chrysler just lost Shepard running the baseline there. He's got to keep tabs on his guy.
You know, it was so quick there, Kevin, but I think LaSalle was in a zone, and sometimes against the zone, the baseline can be exposed. Now Conrad Kiska calmly curls it over the front rim, and another long pass for Phillips. He misses the dunk. The follow is blocked and knocked out of bounds. What a play by Titus Beard.
And what a play by Conrad Kiska. Going down the floor, making that basket, then coming back at the end to make that block. That's a great hustle play.
4-2 Explorers lead. Beard has it now. Comes to the top of the key, looks for Chrysler on the right wing. Chrysler on the baseline. Tough shot, won't go. Good defense there by Archbishop Wood. Now Diggins all the way, and a travel is called against Diggins. It goes the other way. Back to the Explorers.
Just a little bit out of control from the start there, Bob. Never really quite got a hold of that ball, tried to rush it down the floor, and ended up traveling.
5:58 to play. Explorers still lead 4-2. Archbishop Wood goes man-to-man. Explorers spread the floor. Kiska on the right wing. Now look at that position inside from Chrysler. Turns, and he was bumped. A late whistle comes. The referee on the baseline had the foul the entire time. It's not really his call, but for whatever reason, the referee on the right wing didn't make the call, forced the referee on the baseline to make that proper call.
And that came down to the size advantage that Zach Chrysler has. Right now, they have nobody. Wood doesn't have anyone that can cover Zach Chrysler with that height.
Chrysler hits the first free throw. I mentioned it earlier in the game, how calm he's going about his business. On that particular possession, he's able to establish the position without the ball in his hands, get really deep, and then by the time the ball gets there, there's nothing Archbishop Wood can do.
You can tell early that LaSalle is trying to go to Zach Chrysler early and often here. Wood doesn't have a starter over 6'5", which is playing to the advantage of 6'9" Zach Chrysler.
Julius Phillips, maybe bothered by Chrysler, missed an open layup. Now the three is no good, and Chrysler brings it down. 5-2 Explorers lead. Beard, Powell in rhythm three. No good, tipped back there by Kiska. Chrysler in rhythm, got it.
That's what a couple early baskets will do for you, Bob. Zach Chrysler looking much better tonight.
Julius Phillips, a quick three on the other end. If that doesn't go through the cylinder, I'm getting ready to say a little bit of an early hoist, but Phillips finds some nylon. Now it's Kiska getting hugged inside. An easy foul call called against Brennan Kersey. And LaSalle, it's easy to see what they're doing, Kevin. One big comes outside, the other comes in, and it's the opposite big man entering the ball to the other, so that they're pulling the second biggest defender out to the perimeter and leaving the inside, essentially a one-on-one mismatch.
Yep, again, they're having a lot of trouble guarding Conrad Kiska and Zach Chrysler today.
Khalil Diarra comes into the game. Kiska off the glass and good. What a move.
Great move by Conrad Kiska, showing the speed and agility.
Good move there by Diggins. Conrad Kiska called for the foul. And Diggins forcing the issue as Kiska was not in a legal guarding position. He'll go to the line to shoot two.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to catch the Explorers by surprise a little bit, Bob. Looking to up the tempo of this game as we saw with the last two possessions.
Diggins averaging 18.2 points per game. He's had 8 Philadelphia Catholic League games where he's gone over the 20-point mark. To give you a little bit of perspective, they've played 12. So in just about every game, he's going over 20 points. 10-7 Explorers lead, nearing the midway point of the first quarter. Explorers stay with this spread floor as Wood stays in the man-to-man. Shepard guards Powell. Now they get the switch. Powell, a little shake. Timby, a pretty good one-handed catch as he was cutting, and Powell thought he was staying put. Wood wanted a double dribble. Referee says it was knocked out of Timby's hands. Patience here from the Explorers on this possession.
Timby may have had DR on a backdoor cut.
Yeah, at that point, he's just trying to possess the ball there, though. And he did a nice job of doing so. And an offensive foul as Khalil Diarra extends the arm right in front of the baseline referee.
Yeah, he was right there. Got too much of that forearm out. That'll get called every time.
That is the first personal on Khalil Diarra, 2 on the LaSalle basketball team. Archbishop Wood has 2 team fouls as well. Now Jalen Stinson with it on the left wing. Here comes a high ball screen. Comes up to the foul line, can't hit it.
Not getting a whole lot of offense going right now, Bob. It seems like a lot of taking on the team solo here.
And that's a great back cut. The back screen comes from Conrad Giska, and that comes from playing 4 years with one another. Here's the lob, and what a throw down by Deshaun Shepard.
And we've seen it early here, Bob. It's the second time already getting lost in that zone, not finding the guy on the baseline.
Timeout called by LaSalle. And actually, John Moscow thought he was calling a timeout. It looks like both teams were trying to call it. He went to his shoulders, looked over, and saw that the referee was awarding it to LaSalle. So the first timeout of the basketball game is called by the LaSalle Explorers. 12-9 they lead. And Kevin, you hit it exactly right. When LaSalle goes to a zone and you have a high flyer like Deshaun Shepard, you can run that baseline, and sometimes that runs a team right out of a zone defensive look. And we've seen it at the college level. We've seen it at not as much at the NBA level, obviously, but you don't see it at the high school level as much, being able to expose a zone defense in that way along the baseline, only because you don't see a ton of guys like Deshaun Shepard that can rise above the rim that way.
Yeah, they're going to have to start looking out for that. Those guys down low. Can't let that happen.
Titus Beard. Now Powell gets it across the timeline, and he's tripped up. Wood had gotten a steal, but a trip came. And that's going to go against Rasul Diggins. That's the first personal against Diggins, 3rd on Archbishop Wood.
Tough one for the Vikings there. It looked like they had Powell trapped, only to get a quick foul call at the end.
2:38 to play, 12-9, good one early here in Winmore. Jack Rothenberg into the game, his first action in Philadelphia Catholic League play all year. Good find for Powell, can't hit the 3.
That's a good look for Powell. You want him taking that shot all night.
Open 3 in the corner for Stinson, counted and one. Alan Powell clipped him on the blow-by. It's a tie game at 12. One foul shot coming for Stinson, the sophomore.
Number 1 on Powell, that's his first. He's 3rd on the line, shooting 1. Damon Stinson.
Stinson hits the foul shot, and Archbishop Wood goes up 13-12. Give the Vikings a little bit of credit. LaSalle bounced out to an 8-2 lead. They certainly were ready to go here on senior night, and Archbishop Wood has responded early, and we go back and forth in Winmore, Pennsylvania.
Bob, we're seeing 2 very different styles of offense here. Wood really trying to push the pace, maybe 1 or 2 passes every possession. LaSalle working it around a lot. A very different style of offense.
That is tremendous from Titus Beard. He is one of the best back-to-the-basket guards that the Catholic League has to offer. Shepard, good save on the baseline. LaSalle back to a 1-point lead. And good defense there by Diarra, and a late foul is called again. That's the second time the whistle has come late from that particular referee, and he saw a little bit of a grab and a turn of the body as Khalil Diarra came across to make that steal.
Just a little too much extracurricular going on down there, Bob, trying to make a good play instead of staying in front, ends up with the foul call.
And Shepard ran right into Jack Rothenberg. Rothenberg called for the grab. He doesn't like the call, and already LaSalle has committed 5 team fouls. Khalil Diarra sat down on the bench a second ago with his second personal. Diggins inside. Jack Rothenberg gets the block, but then came over the top and clipped Archbishop Wood. That's his second quickly, and LaSalle's sixth team foul. There's still 1:33 to go in the first quarter.
Rothenberg with the great block coming from behind. Unfortunately, just came down on him with the body.
This is Munir Newton, well short, barely drew the front iron. Now let's give credit to Jake Timby. They'll never go down in the scorebook or anything like that. He stayed with number 3, Rasul Diggins, as he went to that patented spin move. It was just a missed assignment on the baseline that allowed essentially LaSalle to bail out Diggins and allowed him to find a guy on that weak side block. But Timby's a guy, I'm convinced he watches film, because he was right on those loose outlet passes from Roman Catholic, made 2 steals that way, as that one is thrown beyond Timby and out of bounds. But he caused 2 turnovers and got a couple of easy buckets against Roman Catholic, and then that time stayed right with Diggins, where I think a lot of defenders would have had trouble doing so.
Yeah, in that game a week ago, he just always seemed to find that soft spot in the defense. He always knew where to be, and it helped that he was knocking down some shots that night. Had a great night for Timby.
And now another foul comes. This is going to be called against Titus Beard. Zach Chrysler got blown over by Rasul Diggins. That went uncalled. That would have been Rasul Diggins' second personal foul. Nonetheless, that's now going to be actually called against Conrad Kiska, not Beard. So that's Conrad Kiska's second personal. It goes from what could have been Diggins' second to Kiska's second. And an offensive rebound brought down by Newton. And a travel is called against Jalen Stinson. 1:03 to go here in the first quarter. It's 14 apiece.
And Bob, we saw this game start off getting the ball down low to Conrad Kiska and Zach Chrysler. Got away from that in the past couple of minutes. I look for LaSalle to try to work it down low in this possession here.
LaSalle with 7 team fouls. We're not yet through the first 8 minutes of play. Conrad Kiska with 2 personals. He's being left on the floor for what might be the final offensive possession. Khalil Diarra has 2 personals, and he sits. .35 seconds left. Conrad Kiska makes one miss. And LaSalle's going to be able to pull this out. Halfway there, bringing this one down to the final shot.
Good look by LaSalle. Try to grab this lead going into the second quarter.
Now Powell directs traffic with 15. Now down to 10 seconds on the game clock in the first quarter. 6 seconds left. Chrysler gets a defender in the air all the way to the bucket and a nice block. Final heave at the horn, won't go. And a big block by the reserve, Dominic Borzacello. Number 24, standing at 6'7", stayed with Zach Chrysler. Maybe beaten by a half step, able to recover, make the block, and we go to the first quarter tied at 14.
Yeah, Bob, a back and forth battle we've seen here. Up-tempo offense that Wood's trying to run. LaSalle trying to run a more traditional half-court offense, work the ball down low to Zach Chrysler. I'd like to see them get back to that a little bit more heading into the second quarter.
This portion of today's game brought to you by our partners at Dunphy Ford in the Northeast, a wonderful dealership right there in Mayfair on 7700 Frankfort Avenue. You can also find them right at on the web at dunphyford.com. Dunphy Ford has been a big asset to what we do here at BLS. They've allowed us to really move into the new age and grab a second camera to have it up on the scoreboard, as you see in the top right-hand corner of your screen. A better picture. We were all audio just a few years ago, improved the picture quality as well, and they really have grown with us. So appreciate Dunphy Ford being here with us and supporting us. Beginning of the second quarter. LaSalle will start with the basketball, dressed in the home whites. Gold trim, blue numerals, Archbishop Wood in the black uniforms with the gold trim. Powell for 3, got it. Explorers lead by 3.
And the Vikings just lost Powell on that high ball screen. Well executed by the Explorers.
And the reason they did that, it's a little bit of a different look coming out of the timeout. LaSalle didn't run much high ball action in the first quarter. Good call by head coach Mike McKee to come out of the break this way. Diggins, jump stop, tough shot, and it goes.
That's just a tough matchup right there. Diggins has got a little bit of a height advantage over Timby, and he took that one to his advantage there.
And it was a difficult shot, too. Sometimes you just tip your cap.
Yeah, nothing Timby could have done on that one.
Explorers lead 17-16. Chrysler on the baseline. Guarded by Borzacello. Patiently backs him down. Now Beard. Back for Chrysler. He's hit one from here already. A little short. Brought down by Beard. Timby puts it on the turf. Great look for Beard for three. Got it.
And what a look by Timby right there. Had the shot, took an extra dribble, made the extra pass. What a great shot there by Titus Beard.
And in really unselfish basketball. First by Beard to find Timby as he drove inside, and then for Timby to give it right back. Baseline three won't go. What a wingspan inside, and Conrad Kiska blocks it off the hands of Newton. Boy, that was close. That could have been his third personal, but he went in there and he got himself a clean block on the weak side block.
Yeah, Conrad's got to be careful. He needs to stick himself out in this game. He cannot get his third foul in the first half here.
Diggins spins, gets inside, great look, and Newton got blocked again. Diggins can't finish. Another offensive rebound. That's too strong, and what a finish. Flying in from the outside, Deshaun Shepard.
A great play by Deshaun Shepard, but again, great defense by Jake Timby, staying straight up on Rasul Diggins, preventing the easy layup.
And that one's given away by Timby. Here's Diggins the other way. No numbers, a Euro step. And he can't finish the dunk. Shepard, for all his heroics, misses a bunny inside.
Great look by Diggins. Maybe could have taken that one himself, but gives it up. Almost gets the easy bucket there.
Boy, this half of the floor, well, the other half now, has been played above the rim. So is this side. What a play by Conrad Kiska. He's brought down the rim a few times. That time elected to lay it in.
That first step by Conrad Kiska, it's so quick. 1-2 steps right to the bucket there.
Julius Phillips can't hit it. Explorers with a chance to run. Powell to the bucket. Watch the little rub there almost by Zach Chrysler. John Mosca wanted a foul on Chrysler, but he didn't intentionally get into the way, but maybe sort of intentionally.
Great look by Kiska, looking up the floor immediately and finding the open man in Powell.
That one, how did that not go down off the hands of Jalen Stinson? And now Explorers, they are going to slow it up with 5 minutes to go in the second quarter. They lead by 6. This game's an absolute war thus far. Powell to the bucket, he's fouled. I think it's going to go against Newton. And indeed it is. Munir Newton, the sophomore at 6'4", commits the foul. Alan Powell, the team's most proficient foul shooter, to the line to shoot two.
Yeah, it looks like Wood is trying to stop them near half court, but that's the issue. Once that first man gets beat, there's nobody behind ready to get Powell.
Powell hits the foul shot. Sam Brown into the game for the first time, and I think Brown is going to have to play some big minutes here tonight, given the foul trouble that LaSalle got themselves into in the first quarter. You know, it always cracked me up. You're not really going to see it on the camera here, but there were 3 patrons for Archbishop Wood that just walked directly onto the floor and into the students section. I've never understood how and why that occurs.
Yeah, that's okay. There's nothing going on here tonight, Bob.
This is open gym, right?
Absolutely. I don't know why the baskets aren't down on the sides.
Blocked by Beard, and it goes the other way. That goes off the hands of Diggins after the shot deflection by the senior Titus Beard. Big opportunity here for LaSalle. I mentioned getting themselves into foul trouble in the first quarter. Still with just those same 7 fouls. Haven't committed one yet in the second. It's going to be big if they can stay clean the rest of the half and also an opportunity to go up double digits. Footwork by Chrysler, and he gets it to go with a little shooter's roll inside.
There it is, Zach Chrysler having a lot of success early inside. Explorers need to stay with that.
Manny Frere called for a nickel dimer of all nickel dimers on the outside. He did put his hands on the offensive player, that is right. And because of that, now the 8th team foul against the Explorers. It'll be Julius Phillips going to the line to shoot the front end of the 1-and-1.
Yeah, just an unnecessary hand check right there, Bob. That was not needed.
Phillips in and out. And the Explorers control the pace once again. Second quarter has been all LaSalle. They lead by 10, and that one's thrown away by Frere. Alan Powell was cutting. Frere throw it to him as if he was standing where he was, and that's the third time that there's been a miscommunication on a simple touch pass like that.
Yeah, Bob, it's not a high-intensity pass right there. Just trying to get a little bit of offense going out by the arc. Not sure why they're having so many issues with that right now.
Shepard, good find on the baseline. Stinson decided not to let it go. Explorers stay in this zone defense. Stinson runs through Chrysler, offensive foul. Shepard left his feet. Chrysler stood his ground, didn't hit him straight on, but that's not necessarily a prerequisite with some of the new rules that we've seen in terms of player control fouls.
Yeah, Shepard just a little bit out of control right there. Too much to call a blocking foul there, so it ends up being a charge for the Explorers.
Brown gets his first touch offensively. Now Powell thought about the three. Now guarded by the larger Shepard. He'll back him out. Brown on the drive. Frere nearly stepped on the sideline. Now gets all the way to the rim. Back for Brown. He'll drive, put it up, and it just rolls off the front.
Looked like Frere had a clear shot at the basket there. Not sure why he gave that up.
Zach Chrysler called for the foul. No doubt about it, he got all ball up top. Referee says the contact down below, too much to not call the foul. The 9th team foul against the Explorers, just Chrysler's first, which is a good thing for the Explorers. There have been times where he's been in a little bit of foul trouble earlier this year. So with the 9 against the Explorers, fortunate that he's only picked up his first.
Yeah, big for LaSalle to keep Chrysler on the floor. May not see Conrad Kista for the remainder of the first half to keep him in this game longer.
28-20 is the score. LaSalle leads Archbishop Wood in the first look of full court pressure. Now a double team, and Titus Beard calls the timeout.
A good timeout right there. Really caught it in a bad position down in the corner. Wood had him, needed that timeout right there to keep possession.
Yeah, pretty good defensive play call by John Moscow, and sometimes that is when it's the most effective, is just to spring it on a team when they're not expecting it. Not even coming out of a timeout, just in a live ball situation. Hey guys, next time we get a bucket, here's what we're doing. And you got to give John Moscow and Wood credit for that because, again, they're running 4 sophomores out there on the floor most times. And you have kids with this acumen for basketball to be able to understand and implement a defensive change in the middle of a live ball situation. It's very impressive. And I'll tell you this, not that this team for Archbishop Wood isn't going to compete for the Catholic League and deep into the playoffs this year, but boy, when these guys get a little bit older, this team's going to be pretty darn good.
Yeah, absolutely. As we alluded to before, you got a lot of talent at the sophomore level right now for this Archbishop Wood team. 3 of their key players right now just in their sophomore season. So 1 or 2 more years down the road, this team is going to be at the top of the Catholic League.
Great job to break that pressure by the Explorers. Wide open now, a football pass across. Powell in and out. Big rebound by Beard. Taken off his hands by Shepard, and Diggins comes the other way.
Great look by Zach Chrysler across the floor there. Powell just couldn't quite get that one to go.
Same with Diggins. Ball is loose, pulled down, and a jump ball is called. Archbishop Wood will retain the possession. Boy, every shot anywhere near the bucket on both sides is being contested in a big way. There are no easy ones here at LaSalle here tonight.
We're seeing some good defense here, Bob, from both sides of the ball.
Diggins, an NBA range three, back iron. Rebound by Phillips, straight up, no. Gets his own rebound. Timby is called for the foul as he dives on the floor and tries to create a steal.
Good effort play by Timby, trying to get on the floor to get that basketball.
One thing I think LaSalle fans collectively gasped at is that when Khalil Diarra was down there against Phillips, he was very close to picking up his third personal.
On the line shooting 2, Julius Phillips.
Timby, that's just his first personal. Phillips hits the first. It's 28-21, Explorers lead. Phillips is going to get his own rebound. Everybody fell asleep. That's a three-point play for Archbishop Wood. They trail by 5.
And nobody boxing him out on that one. That's the first rule. You got to get the shooter. Comes right in and gets himself another 2.
Under 2 minutes to go. It was a 10-point lead, now down to 5. The next minute 48, I think, very important for both teams. LaSalle trying to extend that lead a little bit, get it back to double digits. Wood trying to crawl closer. Great entry pass, and Chrysler rattles it home. What a great look from Khalil Diarra. Inside for Chrysler, and a solid finish by the big.
The 6'4" Shepherd doing everything he can to contain Zach Chrysler right now, but that 5-inch difference is showing.
On the baseline, he decides to go baseline. Diggins in trouble. Back for Phillips, fires away and hits it. The last 6 for Archbishop Wood have gone to the senior, Julius Phillips, the elder statesman here for the Vikings.
Yeah, and you said it, Bob. The senior stepping up when his team needs him most. That's what seniors are for.
Chrysler, and now Titus Beard. Patience here from LaSalle. It's down to 4. 45 seconds left. They held it for about a minute at the end of the first quarter, shortening the basketball game to essentially 2 7-minute quarters. They're going to take the last shot here if they can hold it for that long.
Wood certainly trying to force the action right here. Comes up with a little hand check foul.
And give Mike McKee a lot of credit on that one, because he complained when it was on the other side of the floor as Zach Chrysler was getting held. Came across the way to Timby, and the foul was immediately called, and LaSalle will take it because it goes against Rasul Diggins, his second personal foul. And he'll go to the bench here in the latter stages of the first half.
Not what the Vikings were looking for with 30 seconds left in the first half here. Did not want to get a little foul like that on Rasul Diggins.
The other thing that I always say, and this is very symptomatic of high school basketball, because there's no shot clock, when you get a foul like that, you can just reset the possession again. So that almost cuts in half the time that LaSalle needs to hold the ball before they get a shot. Powell for 3, good. Little shake, and they're going to get one more look. Powell at the horn. It won't go. And that's the half. It could have been 10, but a big 3 at the horn by Alan Powell makes it 33-26. Boy, what an early dagger that one could have been, huh?
Powell picking up the ball at almost the exact same spot that he just sunk a shot 3 seconds ago. Thought he was going to put that one right back in. Man, this place would have gone nuts.
I don't know that I've ever seen something exactly like that before at any level of basketball. That was truly remarkable. And really a tremendous shot to shake on the first one, to get the defender by, and then able to rise up and fire. Too good from Alan Powell. And the Explorers take a 7-point lead into the break. And don't discount, I think that last 3, getting it from 4 to 7, Wood had gotten it as close as they had gotten it since midway through the first quarter. I think that's big for LaSalle to get that lead back up to 7, a more manageable, comfortable lead. Of course, still got to come out and play the second half, but I think that last 3 is a big one.
Yeah, absolutely. LaSalle going into the second half here with a 7-point lead. We've seen it all throughout the first half. They are trying to slow down the pace of this game. They're trying to play some half-court offense, and that will help them in the second half. Now, on the other hand, Wood is trying to play an up-tempo style game. Don't count them out yet. they are going to come out firing. They're going to try to score early and often, and they can come back in a hurry with this style of play. So come out playing some strong defense in the second half and get on top early.
Halftime here at LaSalle College High School. The Explorers lead 33-26 over Archbishop Wood. It is senior night in Winmore, Pennsylvania. Thanks so much for being with us. Bob Long, Kevin Long, Gavin O'Donnell on the camera below. All of it brought to you by our partners at Dunphy Ford, and we'll be right back.
Ford is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfurt Avenue.
Generation after generation, our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dunphy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfurt Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dumpyford.com.
Come experience the Dumpy difference. You'll be glad you did.
What does your character look like? Does it bounce back after each setback? Does it stand out by standing up? Does it make good on good intentions? Character is invisible until it's not. Only through action will the world know what it's made of, what you're made of. Find out how you can strengthen the character of your community alongside empowered veterans and families of the fallen at travismanion.org.
I would say that LaSalle is dynamic.
Prepared.
Active.
Diverse. Brotherhood. Family.
Ford is Mayfair's neighborhood Ford store.
Nobody knows your neighborhood like Dunphy Ford.
Nearly 40 years.
Right here on Frankfurt Avenue.
Generation after generation, our neighbors continue to be our customers. We have access to the cars and trucks you want with financing you need.
Dunphy Ford is Northeast Philly's first choice for America's #1 brand. 7700 Frankfurt Avenue in Mayfair. Online at www.dumpyford.com.
Come experience the Dumpy difference. You'll be glad you did.
What does your character look like? Does it bounce back after each setback? Does it stand out by standing up? Does it make good on good intentions? Character is invisible until it's not. Only through action will the world know what it's made of, what you're made of. Find out how you can strengthen the character of your community alongside empowered veterans and families of the fallen at travismanion.org.
I would say that LaSalle is dynamic.
Prepared.
Active.
Diverse. Brotherhood.
Family.
Welcome back inside LaSalle College High School. Bob Long, Kevin Long here. Up in the Crow's Nest at LaSalle College High School. Great basketball game thus far as the Explorers lead 33-26 over Archbishop Wood. It's senior night, and this is one of those big games, Kev, that you talk about, and we saw LaSalle come out really strong, take a big lead into the second quarter. Archbishop Wood did their best to come back, got it back to within 4. Big possession at the end by Alan Powell makes it 33-26. And now they turn the half over to number 2, and let's see what LaSalle can do in this second half. I think Archbishop Wood might throw a few different looks at him, maybe a little bit more full court pressure, and it's going to be on this senior class to be able to break that effectively, not turn the basketball over, and continue to play the way they have all season long.
Yeah, Bob, LaSalle came out strong, didn't see any butterflies from senior night. They came out ready to go, prepared to accomplish the mission, which was to win this game. Did not seem distracted by senior night. Playing really well. I expect to see a lot more out of Archbishop Wood. Like you said, the full court press seemed to take LaSalle by surprise. I think they'll be ready for it in the second half, but they've shown to have some success with it early, so I expect to see them go back to it. I expect to see Wood push the floor a little bit, speed up the tempo of this game, extend the game, give themselves a chance to get back in this game. I'm excited for another half of basketball here.
Another night here at LaSalle and another sellout. It's the third time in a row, it might even be more than that they've sold out this arena, and they did it, again, another 3 days before the game even started. This is the place to be, and of course, if you're not here, you can watch it right here. And this community has really rallied around this team. They're playing great basketball right now. Let's see what they can do in the second half. We'll take you down to the floor right now for the beginning of the third stanza here at LaSalle College High School. Live look at the student section here. They are out in full force tonight, as they always seem to be. The final home game of the regular season for LaSalle. They've been really good on their home floor this year. They're going to earn the opportunity to host a playoff game next Friday night. That'll also be live here on Bob Long Sports. This the penultimate game of the regular season as they travel to St. Joe's Prep on Sunday afternoon, a 2:30 tip at Kelly Fieldhouse.
Should be another good game, Bob. Right in contention with Wood. Prep and Wood fighting for to avoid that play-in game. Should be another great game. Bob Long getting his gamely shout out
every time
from the students.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Appreciate the love as that one's knocked out of bounds. Great play there by Jalen Stinson to get his hand in the passing lane. Timby will inbound from the baseline. Beard thought about the three. Good closeout there by Shepard. Explorers run the set. Kiska on the baseline. Kiska spins, fires, and hits. Good shooters roll there. Brennan Kersey. That's just a tough matchup.
Kiska wasting no time getting back into this game after a short stint on the bench at the end of the first half with 2 fouls.
7:21 to play. LaSalle leads by 9. A quick 5-0 run to bookend the beginning of the third with the end of the second. Now Shepard for 3. Got it. Big answer from Deshaun Shepard.
A real good look by Shepard right there, finding the soft spot in the defense, coming off that screen. Great shot by Shepard.
Zach Chrysler, the curl from Powell. Good closeout by Diggins. Now they get a mismatch. Let's see if they go after Diggins. Remember, he has 2 personal fouls. Chrysler spins, offensive foul. 2 referees had it. It's the right call as he wrapped the arm around the defender. And that's now Zach Chrysler's 2nd personal foul.
Just a little bit too much there with the arm, Bob. Getting it extended, get him for the hook. He's got to use his size to back him down instead of his arms.
That's the first team foul against the Explorers in the 3rd frame. 6:30 left. Phillips. Good job by Zach Chrysler. Now Chrysler nearly earns his 3rd foul. Good job to stay off of Shepard, but Shepard finishes, and it's back down to 4. Archbishop Wood has been tremendous on the offensive glass tonight.
Now Wood is starting to turn it around. It's becoming an advantage Wood in this Chrysler-Phillips matchup. Phillips is showing the speed and agility over Chrysler at the moment.
Powell thought about a step back. Now he's guarded by Brennan Kersey. Gets Kersey in the air, gets to the foul line, count it.
What a move by Alan Powell right there. Looked like he was about to pull up, made an extra dribble to get around his man, found the open shot.
Phillips, in and out of bounds, last touch by Kiska and/or Chrysler.
Wood seeming to come out with a new game plan here. They're finding some of the soft spots in this zone. LaSalle really needs to tighten it up a little bit on defense.
And if you're Wood, nothing to do about that particular possession. Phillips got a great look. You'll take that every time. Now Phillips, that's a much tougher look. Banked, no good. Diggins gets the offensive rebound, and it's back down to 4.
That's the 2nd time in the last couple possessions there, Bob. Nobody boxing out on LaSalle.
Well, remember, LaSalle in a zone, so you don't have an individual man to box out. Sometimes can be difficult to rebound out of a zone. Good find in the corner, and the foul will be called against Archbishop Wood before a wide-open 3 for Titus Beard, and he can't believe it. He's like, can't you call that after I let that go?
Yeah, is this soccer? Where's the advantage?
That is the 2nd personal on Brennan Kersey. Timby looking to get it in, does. Diarra calm in the corner. 5:10 to play. Long pass to the corner. Beard spins baseline. Back for Kiska. Kiska goes right at the defender. And I think that referee blew the whistle. He called a foul on Brennan Kersey. And honestly, I think he didn't expect Conrad Kiska to slow up. I think he was getting ready to call a charge. Kersey didn't go down. The whistle was blown, and he had to call something, and it was going to be a hand check.
Completely agreed. Conrad Kiska looked like he was getting out of control right there, but a smart move to pull up and avoid the charge.
Tell you, it's a tough game to officiate. Timby was hit. Timby was hit and not called. He finished it anyway.
Great body control, jumping, getting a little push off there, and still making the basket for Timby.
Phillips short on the 3. Here's Beard. Opportunity for the Explorers to run. Beard with a jump stop. Back for Kiska. Over for Timby. And they'll reset. Explorers patient with 4:26 to go in the 3rd quarter. They lead by 6 points.
Great job by the Explorers trying to shorten this game. Long possessions is what they're looking for to end this game.
and they didn't allow the defensive pressure of Archbishop Wood to speed them up. Timby off the screen, gets a mismatch here against Phillips. They don't elect to go at it.
Mismatch down by Conrad Kiska.
And now Kiska gets it against Diggins. Kiska traveled with it. The pivot foot was the left foot. He picked it up in order to jump, and that's a travel against the senior for the Explorers.
And no need there. Had some inches over his man right there. Could have backed him down with the body. No need to get cute there. Just back down to the basket.
Here's a lob, and Khalil Diarra. What an anticipatory play. Timby fires away. Got it. What a shot by Jake Timby in transition with nobody rebounding.
And that play created by Khalil Diarra. Jumping that pass right there. Avoiding another alley-oop. Great play by Khalil Diarra.
And this time it's stolen by Titus Beard. Timby lays it too strong off the glass.
Couldn't quite get his body under control there, Bob. Good breakaway. Tried to lay it up. Maybe that's one that you give up at the end there.
A blocking foul called against Khalil Diarra. He was sliding into the field of play away from the baseline. That's his third personal. Comes with 3:12 to play in the third quarter.
With no ring in the high school game, it's tough to tell, but it looked like he was creeping underneath that basket as well there, Bob.
Yeah, that becomes referee's discretion without the restricted area physically drawn on the court, as you mentioned. Diggins, his second is good. And Diggins quietly having a very nice night here. LaSalle defense putting a lot of pressure on him. Now the double comes on Timby. Timby looking for help. That's tipped back. Powell's going to get it. Powell leans, fires, and scores. Count it with one more coming.
Great play by LaSalle finding that open man, but really created by the Wood Vikings overcommitting. Had Timby in a trap, had two guys there, had two or three more guys come rushing over instead of spreading the floor. Really needed to stay on some of those other open men for the Explorers.
And that's one there. John Moscow doesn't like the call, but if you're going to call the charge against, or the block, I should say, against Diarra on the other side, you got to call it for the slight slide there on the defensive position by Wood. It's a 9-point lead by LaSalle. Wood's gotten close, can't hit that one, and over the top called against Deshaun Shepard. That's the second personal against Deshaun Shepard. That's the team's fourth here in the third. Beard with patience here at the logo. Powell now guarded by Stinson. Wide open floor for Powell. And a foul is called against Jalen Stinson. Archbishop Wood complaining, wanting a 5-second. That's not going to get called. It's just not. Powell absolutely made progress there up the floor. And Archbishop Wood, it's clear that they do play with a little bit of physicality, and John Moscow has just picked up a technical foul. Just off the bottom of your screen, he was arguing with the referee, and it's been constant over most of the night. And so he picks up the tech.
Yeah, as a coach, you need to keep your emotions under control in that sense. I don't think this is one of those fouls where you're trying to get your team motivated here. I think these guys are playing with a lot of energy right now. That's just a careless foul you need to avoid if you're the head coach.
So 2 points given to the Explorers, taken by Alan Powell as he knocks down both the foul shots.
Explorers retain possession.
It's an 11-point lead for LaSalle, largest since the second quarter. And actually, I don't know that it ever got. I think it got to 10 at one point. So it's the largest lead of the night. 46, 35. Alan Powell with 1:57.
Don't be surprised if LaSalle tries to make these possessions last. 45 seconds to a minute. Try to shorten this game, as we've talked about before.
Kiska leaves off for Diarra. Skip pass back for Beard. Beard spins, and Frere now has it. That should have been a double dribble, wasn't called. Moscow wants the call. That one, I don't blame him.
And Diarra early in that possession gave up a great shot, so LaSalle clearly showing they're trying to hold for possession here.
Foul called against Razul Diggins. Conrad Kiska will go to the line. Now there is a discussion. It is Diggins. In fact, that's his third personal foul. That's now the team's sixth foul. So we talked about the foul disparity in the first half. The second half is just the same, except it's reversed. Archbishop Wood with the 16 fouls before we've even gotten to the fourth quarter.
Yeah, and as you can see, Wood trying to force the action on defense, trying to bait LaSalle into going for the baskets earlier, try to get this game moving, up-tempo. LaSalle laying back a little bit, and as a result, not fouling nearly as much as they did in the first half.
Returning in line for the Explorers, number 21, Zach Chrysler.
Zach Chrysler checks back into the game, replacing Conrad Kiska. And again, after that technical foul, LaSalle gets the 2 foul shots from Powell. They draw the foul on Diggins. He has 3, and Kiska hits his 2 foul shots. A big swing here late in the third quarter of this basketball game.
I won't say this game is over, but with a 13-point lead late in the third quarter here, it's going to be tough for these Vikings to come back. They really need to turn it around in a hurry.
And that's a big shot there by Julius Phillips. He got back into the middle of the zone. And I'll second what you just said. This game is absolutely not over. Archbishop Wood, a ton of firepower. They're going to bring the full court pressure in the fourth quarter and try to create turnovers. That's the way that Wood is going to try to get back into this basketball game. Now can LaSalle hold it again? This possession started with a minute to go again. LaSalle's gotten the benefit of the last possession of each of the first 3 quarters. Chrysler poked away from behind, and that's Diggins' 4th personal foul. And Zach Chrysler will go to the line to shoot the front end of a 1-and-1.
Tough foul for Diggins there. Thought he got the ball on the backside there. But Chrysler, surprising to be driving to the basket there with 30 seconds left when you think the Explorers would look to hold for 1.
And you think about where that mismatch is, it's him against the guards. You like that matchup if Chrysler's catching the ball in the lane. You probably don't like it quite as much if your 6'9" big is going up against one of the better defenders in the league on the perimeter.
No, and like you saw right there, a guy with quick hands like Diggins able to poke that ball loose. Almost got away with the steal there. That could have been a problem for the Explorers.
50-37. LaSalle leads again by 13, matches their largest of the night. Shepard gets to the foul line. Good defense by Frere. Phillips gets Frere in the air. He fouls him, and he can't finish.
Now, I just wondered there on that possession, right? Wood's trying to create some action, trying to score quickly, but really what you're doing is giving LaSalle a chance to get the ball back and shoot for 1 at the end. So a little bit confused why Wood would be trying to force the action there with 15 seconds remaining in the quarter.
They certainly did get a good look. They got a foul against Manny Frere, and Phillips, a very proficient foul shooter, hits the first. Phillips hits the second as well. It's back to an 11-point lead for LaSalle. Full court look.
We expect to see Wood in this for the rest of the game here.
That's got to be a foul. It's just not called. Now Powell drives to the hoop, lays it in, count it and 1.
Wood just gets cut underneath the basket there. Too close. He would have been well inside that ring had it been there. And an easy and 1 for Alan Powell.
Yeah, and he slid. Powell hits the foul shot. Now 4 seconds left. Wood's got to move quicker than this. They get to the half-court line and heave it. And Khalil Diarra brings it down. John Moscow out onto the floor. I don't know why he did that, but I also don't think that it's goaltending.
Yeah, that ball was certainly a couple feet short of the rim there, but no reason for Diarra. It can only create potential three-point basket on goaltending there for Archbishop Wood.
There are times where you have to give a student section credit. And what they did right there, while John Moscow was out there right in front of them, arguing with the referee to go with the air ball chant, was textbook trolling. Well done by the LaSalle student section.
Gotta love it. A student section that understands the game and tries to get under the other coach's skin. That's what they're there to do, Bob.
Worth mentioning, I think it was Munir Newton, number 11, that had to go out there and get John Moscow to bring him back. Remember, John Moscow sitting with one technical foul already, and I believe that if you're ejected from a game in the Philadelphia Catholic League, you don't get to coach the next game, which would be the final game of the season for Archbishop Wood. And as we mentioned, we'll put these standings up one more time as we're about to begin this fourth quarter. Archbishop Wood plays LaSalle and then goes to Archbishop Ryan, who's sitting right there at 7-5 going into tonight. So that's a game that's going to matter for seeding as well. So Moscow, while you want to win this one and you want to fire up your guys, you just can't get another technical foul.
I'm sure that's on the minds of his players as well, as Newton seemed to realize that and tried to pull his coach back.
Good bucket there from Archbishop Wood, and it's back to a 12-point lead for LaSalle. Into the fourth quarter. Conrad Kiska nearly poked away from him. A lot of contact there defensively.
Newton with quick hands there. Get his hand in there.
What a play.
There's Newton again, grabbing the steal.
First one on the floor. Give him a lot of credit. And now Conrad Kiska picks up his third personal foul. That's the fourth against the Explorers, and that's how Wood's going to get back into the basketball game, creating turnovers and then creating offensive looks on the other end, potentially in transition. Here's a three. Stinson. No, brought down by Khalil Diarra. What a play by Diarra.
Good rebound by Diarra, and good job by Conrad Kiska playing a clean third quarter, but grabbing that foul early in the fourth quarter. They need him in this game down the stretch.
Powell goes into Stinson. Diarra takes it back. Wow, that pass I think was intended for Timby. Kiska brought it down, and Wood called for the foul. That's number 5, Brennan Kersey, his fourth.
That ball was absolutely headed for Timby. Bobby again found himself wide open on the three-point line, similar to what we saw last week against Roman. Conrad Kiska stealing that ball out of the air, though, and going to the line for two.
Foul shots will be big for LaSalle down the stretch. Archbishop Wood already at 9 team fouls. So the next foul will put the Explorers into the double bonus. One more coming for Kiska here. And you get the sense that not turning the ball over and foul shots being converted are the two ways to win this basketball game, as the Explorers lead by 14 points and try to maintain that lead. Phillips, good defense there by Diarra. And drawing the contact was Diggins. I think the foul will go against Timby, and it will. That's the 5th team foul against the Explorers. They're going to give Diggins the act of shooting and give him 2 shots.
A good job by Diarra, first cutting off the baseline there, but then Timby just getting a little too much of the body there, over-committing, and just running into Russell Diggins.
And that's the thing about Diggins. He does make it so hard. He puts so much pressure on the primary on-ball defender. Diggins hits them both. It's 55-43, still a 12-point lead for LaSalle. And this is where these things get fun here, Kevin.
Yep, this is going to get interesting. They're going to be trying to grab this steal early on, trying to trap, and there you see it. But LaSalle successfully breaks the press right there.
6:30 to go, fourth quarter. Bob Long, Kevin Long up here in the Crow's Nest. Gavin O'Donnell down doing the camera. our broadcast crew here on Bob Long Sports. I mean, there was a clear grab of the jersey there. It went uncalled. Now Beard back for Diarra.
Yeah, Kersey had a handful of Powell's shirt right there, uncalled.
Man, there is a lot of contact, and it's not called. Here's Wood the other way. Shepard loses the ball, and Titus Beard is called for the foul. Now the fouls for the Explorers are getting up there. That's the 6th team foul. The inbound to come underneath the basket.
Wood again trying to force the action. Double teaming Powell as he gets a little bit cornered down there by himself. Needs to find his way out of those corners and find the open man when he's double teamed.
Now here's a drive from Shepard. Can't finish. Follow won't go from Phillips. Now he's fouled by Kiska.
Strong drive by Shepard right there. Like you said, Bob, needs to finish that one. That's an easy bucket.
Conrad Kiska's 4th personal foul. So this continues to get interesting. Yes, a 12-point game, but starting to feel a little bit closer than that as Julius Phillips continues his proficiency from the charity stripe.
Here we go, Bob. This is starting to turn into a game. They were down by 15 just a couple seconds ago. Now trying to get it down to 10.
Phillips hits them both. And the other way this game's going to get interesting is if that much contact by on-ball defenders is going to continue to go uncalled. And that is a good defensive play by Wood. They get it back. Wow, what a play by Stinson. And Khalil Diarra is called for the nudge on the baseline. Now Wood will shoot 1-and-1, and Diarra picks up his 4th personal foul. And things continue to get interesting here in Windmore.
Yeah, Stinson looked like he may have stepped out of bounds here, but instead it's Diarra that gets called with the foul.
Full timeout called by the LaSalle Explorers. It's 55-45, 5:42 to play. And this portion of today's basketball game brought to you by our partners at Dunphy Ford in the Northeast. They're located at 7700 Frankfurt Avenue. The cold weather, I don't think it's gone for good. So if your car gave you a little bit of problems when we went into that cold freeze, I know mine did, you can go over to Dunphy Ford in the Northeast, and they're going to get you into a brand new car. No battery issues, no transmission issues, sub-zero temperatures. It doesn't matter. Go to my guy, Kevin Dunphy. Tell him that Bob Long Sports sent you, and give him our thanks as well when you see him for all his support of LaSalle Athletics and what we do here at BLS.
Bob, that really hits home right here. I am currently in the market for another car. Car wouldn't start last weekend, so I may have to hit Dunphy Ford up this weekend.
Beautiful.
To find myself a new car.
Beautiful. You and the rest of the folks here at LaSalle are going to be piling in, so you better get there early. Better get there early. Kevin Dunphy, staff up, my friend.
We're coming.
Jalen Stinson to the line, shooting 1 plus the bonus. Gets it to go. Big foul shot. Used every bit of the cylinder.
LaSalle needs to come out of this free throw here, finding a way to break that press. They haven't had a lot of success here early. Wood has been finding a way to stop them.
Second one goes of the same variety. 8-point lead for LaSalle. Powell gets through the double team. Now look at the floor spacing. He elects to pull it back.
Well done by Allen Powell. Almost had him cornered yet again there, but he finds his way through, threading the needle.
Patience here from the Explorers. Can't go into a complete shell, though.
Yeah, Bob, you said it. The offense is stagnating a little bit. I understand that you want to shorten this game by extending your possessions, but you really got to keep that offense moving a little bit. You still need to score to put Archbishop Wood away.
I'll say this. I have never seen a team in my life ask for more 5-second violations than Archbishop would. And now that pass is intercepted. Great hands there by Shepard. Stinson throws it behind, and here comes Powell the other way. It's poked away. No foul call. Stinson looks to the corner. Phillips, short. And Powell is fouled. Powell is fouled by Julius Phillips. There is so much contact in this game. Every foul call, the opposing team isn't going to like it. And that's the third against Phillips. Into the double bonus go the Explorers. On that one, though, I don't know what the argument is.
Yeah, Phillips made every effort to get that ball. I guess the argument is that it was a 50-50 ball and no one had possession. They're both fighting for that ball.
But what you can't do is push off of the smaller Powell, and that's exactly what Phillips did.
Yeah, Phillips had his arm extended a little bit too much, something that has been let go at times during this game, but it gets called here on that play.
And, of course, have to call it what it is. Both these teams are making it very difficult to officiate this game. There's a high level of intensity, high contact physicality, and that is just going to happen in a game like this. I don't envy the job of these referees trying to coordinate this one.
But also good to see letting the guys play this game out and not trying to take control of this game too much.
Wow. Couldn't finish it. Diggins out of bounds, last touch by Titus Beard. It'll stay here. I am dumbfounded that he even got that ball up to the rim. What a play by the sophomore Diggins. I mean, not a great shot selection. Now a three. No good. Brought down and finally picked up by the Explorers.
Good job by Powell. Thought he was going to pick up the foul right there from Stinson, running into him from behind. Doesn't get the call. Stinson does a nice job avoiding him at the last second.
Now Chrysler backs down Phillips. Phillips gets the steal.
What active hands right there by Julius Phillips. Doing a great job coming up with a couple of timely steals.
Stinson for three. Jalen Stinson hits it. It's 57-50 with 3:37 to go.
And Jalen Stinson says it is not over yet. Gets his team right back in the game. 7-point game with about 3 minutes here to go. Wood Vikings are not going away easily.
Full timeout on the floor. Follow us on Twitter at BobLongSports. We call LaSalle College High School basketball. All the games as the Explorers make their run, hopefully towards the state championship run as they get into the PIAA playoffs. And, I mean, first to the Catholic League playoffs, got to do enough damage there to make sure they finish in the top two. Obviously, Roman Catholic, a very strong competitor at the 6A level as well. Wood's going to have a run on their hands as well at their classification. They're a very good basketball team and could really make noise in the state playoff discussion. You can follow us on Bob Long Sports for all the broadcast and programming updates. You can also watch this broadcast on LaSalle College High School Facebook page. You can follow them there. You can also watch it on LaSalle_sports on Twitter. And then on the YouTube channel that we've promoted over the course of the last few weeks. You can subscribe to that. You can get all the games that we've done and will continue to do on the schedule. That's a great way to stay involved with all the things we're doing. We also have a Villanova basketball report that we do on Bob Long Sports every week. So for the Wildcat fans out there, a great way to stay in tune with the program. Penn State football show in the fall. And they do get it across the timeline. I think Wood was asking at about 6.5 seconds.
Yeah, good job by LaSalle getting a couple different guys involved, not just Alan Powell breaking that press, getting Conrad Kiska involved as well.
It was a good look. He just couldn't finish. Now on the weak side, too strong off the glass. Stinson has it. Stinson, tough shot. He's fouled by Beard. And Wood just continues to put pressure on LaSalle. And as we've said a few times tonight, second chances, offensive rebounds for Wood is keeping them in this.
Yeah, again, Bob, we talked about it. In that zone, it's difficult to box guys out because you're not on a man. You first got to find that guy and then box him out. Not doing a great job of that in the second half here, and it's really starting to pay off for the Wood Vikings.
Stinson misses the foul shot. Now this right here, Kevin, it's a 7-point game, chance to make it a 6-point game. This is where you rely on that senior expertise and that veteran leadership.
Yeah, I'm looking for Julius Phillips to really step up in these last couple minutes here. He's had active hands. He's getting the ball back. I expect to continue to see him to do that as Brendan Kersey is the one getting the ball back for Wood.
Well, and I was specifically talking about the Explorers as that one goes down. Jalen Stinson cuts it to 4, so now my point becomes even more important. It comes to the veteran leadership of LaSalle, being the senior-laden team, being senior night. You knew a run was coming. Wood's too good not to. LaSalle's pretty darn good too. This is their time to control the basketball, get the ball out of tough situations, out of double teams, and create good looks at the basket to put this game away in the last few minutes.
This game is all about how they come out of this timeout right here, Bob. You said it. They need their senior leaders to step up. They need to show that they can consistently break this press, which has allowed Wood back into this game because they have not had a lot of success doing so. They need to step up right now and put an end to this Wood run and get themselves back into this game and pull themselves back up after they got knocked down.
You read the lips of Mike McKee in the huddle there, and he said, hey, we're up 4. We're up 4. And I think that's a good message for the Explorers to have coming out of that timeout. Remember, this is still our basketball game until someone takes it away from us.
Yep, that's something that can get lost on players when they're coming on a big run like this. He needs to get himself back into the game, get his players back into the game, and realize that they still control this.
Powell pulls it back. They're up 4 with 2:46, elected not to go for the open 3.
I don't know if I like that there, Bob. It's something that's caused some problems. They're holding the ball and then more chances for turnovers. I say at this point, with just a 4-point lead, you take the shot when you have it.
And that was a good finish there by Conrad Kiska, a good offensive set. I think that was probably the idea where McKee says, if you don't have an open layup, let's set up our set. Phillips can't finish. Loose ball. Stinson has it. Another offensive rebound. Wild shot, no! And a foul is called. Into the double bonus goes Archbishop Wood, and Munir Newton, the sophomore at 6'4", goes up high, gets the rebound, and Titus Beard called for the foul.
A crazy shot there by Kersey, just flinging the ball right up after he gets the rebound. Probably should have kicked it, but worked out for the Vikings as Newton goes up and gets the foul.
Hits the foul shot, cuts it back to 5. Student section getting loud. Newton hits them both. 2:08 to play. Full court pressure. Powell up for Timby. And the foul is called. A nickel dimer called against Jalen Stinson. Could have seen a no call there, but the referee says, hey, Stinson moved his lower half into Timby. And that was enough as Timby brought the arms around to call the foul.
And it looks like Wood Vikings still with the same press. Looks like they're baiting Powell into that same spot where they continue to corner him. LaSalle needs to look elsewhere on that inbounds.
Timby calmly hits the first free throw. It's a 5-point lead. Second goes as well. Stones from the junior. He didn't wait. He didn't put the ball on the turf. He got the ball from the official, and it was going up, nothing but twine. 6-point lead, 2:04 to play.
For the Vikings, number 3, Rasul Diggins.
Manny Frere comes into the game. The Explorers go with a zone as Stinson rises and can't hit. Rebound down to Khalil Diarra. Ooh, that pass dangerous.
Move the ball up the floor.
Now Powell gets it across. Powell gets it through another defender, and Chrysler throws it down.
What a play by Zach Chrysler, throwing that ball down, all created by Alan Powell, breaking through the press. Unbelievable strong, slam. Way to finish strong, Zach Chrysler.
Munir Newton called for the foul. Boy, I think that unleashed some frustrations on behalf of the whole LaSalle team. Whoo, man. 8-point lead now for LaSalle. Diggins, a blocking foul is called against Khalil Diarra. The referee's right on top of it, but my, oh my, Kevin, it looked like he was in legal guarding position, Diarra, and Diggins looked like he was a semblance of out of control.
Boy, that was certainly close, Bob. Certainly close, maybe a little bit out of control, but maybe a slight slide by Diarra at the very end. Tough call, but that one could have gone either way.
And he picks up his 5th personal.
On the line, shooting 2, Russell Diggins.
So Diarra has fouled out of the basketball game. LaSalle leads by 8, 63-55, 1:37 to go. Diggins is going to need both of these. Back to Zach Chrysler. My goodness. Raise it high, young fella. My goodness, that was an absolutely incredible show of athleticism. Through some contact, rising to the rim and throwing it down.
Started with 2 hands on that ball, Bob. Left side gets hit, loses the left hand, just finishes strong with the right hand. That was well done by Chrysler.
Diggins missed the first. Here comes the second. And he hits that one.
Substitution for the Vikings, number 5, Brennan Kersey.
Wood will go offense, defense. Diggins to the bench. Trouble getting it in. Here's Kiska back for Beard. And Alan Powell across the timeline. Now the Explorers can be patient. Timby dribbles it into and out of traffic. Patience here from the Explorers. They lead by 3 possessions. No need to do anything.
Explorers looking to expire the time here.
I think both sides are arguing for a foul to be called earlier there. LaSalle because there was a lot of contact, and Wood because, hey, listen, we're trying to foul the guy. There's not much time left. Come on. So that's that unique situation where both teams are arguing for a foul to be called.
On the line, shooting 2, Titus Beard.
Yeah, Wood needs to extend this game. Hope that LaSalle struggles at the free throw line down the stretch right here and try to make a run back into this.
Our next broadcast will be Sunday in the afternoon as LaSalle takes on St. Joseph's Prep, team that lost a tough one to Archbishop Carroll tonight. And they're fighting for their seeding implications as well. It's getting really bunched in that 6, 7, 8, 9 area. So that'll be a big game for St. Joe's Prep. Last game at Kelly Fieldhouse for a lot of these seniors that have been there a couple times.
You got to think Prep is watching this game right now, and in the rare instance that they are cheering on LaSalle, not looking to catch LaSalle at this point, but hoping to top Wood in the standings.
1 of 2. Now an 8-point lead. Stinson gets to the hole. Offensive foul. Zach Chrysler was waiting as Stinson blew by the primary defender.
Now that was a good call right there. Zach Chrysler clearly established his position, was out from under the basket, in good position. Great play by Zach Chrysler and a good call right there.
Full court look once again from Archbishop Wood. Powell in the corner. Beard, the skip pass, it gets all the way to Timby. And Zach Chrysler is fouled. He'll go to the line to shoot 2 with 1:01 to play.
Had Conrad Kiska down low, but smart play to hold on to that ball. No use risking that pass. Don't need the basket at this moment. Just hold on to the ball and take your free throws.
Chrysler hits the first. Second coming for Zach Chrysler, chance to make it a 4-possession game. It remains a 9-point contest. Phillips, a deep three, no good. And it's out of bounds, back to LaSalle. And they can start to feel it here in Winmore, Pennsylvania. LaSalle looking to get out of this one with a win, a really good one against an 8-4 Archbishop Wood team. But first a steal, and Alan Powell fouls number 22, Deshaun Shepard.
Yeah, just a bit of a desperate shot there by Phillips, trying to heave up a prayer, hoping that something goes in and maybe you grab a steal there. If that goes in, maybe you're looking okay. You get the steal right back, and now you're back at the line. But unfortunately just misses that shot.
That one will go for Shepard. Shepard hits them both. Still just now a 7-point lead for LaSalle. Can Wood get a few more turnovers? A quick foul, and Jake Timby will shoot 2 at the line. Again, not one of the guys that you want to put on the charity stripe.
Yeah, and it looked like Wood actually had him cornered. Maybe if they didn't foul, that's a good guy to corner right there. Timby may not have had the size to get out of that one. May have been able to come up with the ball if you're the Vikings.
Timby's first is good. Second for Timby is good as well. He's hit all 4 foul shots that he's taken, and frankly, there hasn't been a doubt on one of them.
Substitutions for the Explorers, number 4, Manny Ferreira. Number 43, John Goffin.
Now Wood up the floor. Here's Rise and Fire. Jalen Stinson hits it. John Moscow calls the timeout with 42.9. So another quick 2, and Archbishop Wood stays in the basketball game.
Good drive by Stinson, going into the teeth of the defense right there and hitting the little floater right from about the free throw line.
This is Bob Long sports coverage of LaSalle College High School basketball. Appreciate everybody being with us here tonight. Bob Long and Kevin Long up here in the Crow's Nest at LaSalle College High School. Gavin O'Donnell doing a great job on the camera, as he always does. Appreciate him being with us. Back to action. Final 43 seconds. Conrad Kiska is fouled by Julius Phillips, and he will shoot 2 at the line. So, Kev, first time up here in the Crow's Nest calling a basketball game, not your first time being on BLS, obviously. What do you think of it up here?
Bob, I enjoyed the experience. I always enjoy doing the Villanova Basketball Report with you. I figured this would be a great opportunity. Didn't want to give up that chance when you asked me to do this. I love LaSalle College High School. Obviously, it has a special place in both of our hearts. So a great opportunity to come up in the booth with you. I love doing this, and I will always come back whenever you need me.
I appreciate it.
On the line, shooting 2, Conrad Kiska.
Quick substitution here as Zach Chrysler will take a seat. Sam Brown goes in his place. Kiska hits the first foul shot, and this is something that LaSalle has done very well here tonight. Cashing in at the free throw line, not allowing Archbishop Wood to get back into the game, and now Archbishop Wood is going to get a sub in. That's John Donahue. his first action of the night, number 20. Kiska hits them both, 69-60. Tough shot for Stinson, can't hit it, gets his own rebound, and is fouled by Manny Frere. Not what you wanted if you're LaSalle. No reason to send anybody to the line and stop the clock.
Yeah, just give them the easy two right there. All you need is get that ball back and keep that clock moving. No reason to foul for the Explorers.
(69-61). Wood is answering twos with twos. They're going to need some stops in the final 35 seconds and, frankly, some turnovers. Chrysler has it. Chrysler is fouled. Shepard had to give up the fight, had to foul him, and Chrysler will go to the line to shoot two again.
Big couple of foul shots here for Zach Chrysler. 7-point game, but you really need these. If you don't get them right here, it's a 2-point game. All of a sudden, they're right back in it. You know, they're coming at you with the full court press. If they stop you, they're right back in, so really need these.
Chrysler hits the first. Manny Frere comes into the game replacing Jake Timby. Frere, a good defensive substitution. And a guy that can defend the perimeter well in the zone or man. 71-62, the final 31 seconds of senior night for LaSalle. Stinson can hit it, rebound, and finish. Count it with one more coming. Sam Brown called for the foul. Munir Newton will shoot one at the line, and this is an opportunity to cut it to a two-possession basketball game.
Looked like Stinson got away with a little bit of a push-off on the original drive there, but then Newton is the one that ends up getting fouled at the end, and now is going to the line for one more.
This game is one empty possession from Archbishop Wood away from being over, but Wood just continues to connect. Now that rebound comes for Chrysler, and Wood has to foul him.
On the line, shooting two, Zach Chrysler.
Back to an 8-point lead for LaSalle. Chrysler hits the second.
Coming up big with these free throws down the stretch. A 9-point game, but you gotta have these.
And now Luke Baldini, Joey Dempsey come into the game, two seniors. And two guys have to come off. That's the way that goes. It'll be Titus Beard and Manny Frere coming off. Great careers for those two, and fantastic for Baldini and Dempsey to get into the game. Dempsey nearly causes a steal. Now a three for Diggins. No good. Rebound, knocked out of bounds. Nice play there by Baldini, knocking it out of Donahue's hands. The seniors for the Explorers here. Alan Powell, Titus Beard, Conrad Kiska, Joey Dempsey. Has a wild shot, pulled down by Conrad Kiska, and that'll do it. LaSalle a 73-64 win over Archbishop Wood on senior night. Big win for LaSalle. They maintain that second spot in the Catholic League. And the many seniors on this team, as I mentioned, Alan Powell, Titus Beard, Conrad Kiska, Joey Dempsey, Zach Chrysler, Khalil Diarra, Luke Baldini, and Jack Rothenberg. All those guys have played a part over their years here at LaSalle. It's their last regular season home game. And how sweet is that, Kevin, for them to be able to go out with a bang on their home floor?
Yeah, what a great win for LaSalle right here. Regardless of the game and the standings right here, senior night is a day that you'll remember for the rest of your life. You'll remember whether you won or you lost that game, so great for these guys to come in and get that victory. Also, a very important win for LaSalle in the standings. Very important that they got that and kept their spot in the 2 seed. Archbishop Wood now looking for a win to end out their season. A much needed win for them, and LaSalle looking to do the same, finish out the season 12-2.
LaSalle with the big win, as you mentioned. They do have just one more game standing in their way from earning the number 2 seed in the Philadelphia Catholic League. That's on the road at St. Joseph's Prep. But back to this game. Archbishop Wood, they brought a physicality to their efforts here tonight, made it difficult on LaSalle. LaSalle hung in a big way and answered the bell. Those seniors were huge down the stretch. Throw Jake Timby in the mix as well as a junior. He was huge down the stretch. They hit their foul shots. They didn't turn the ball over in the final stages. There was a time where Archbishop Wood was putting some pressure and LaSalle looked the least bit uncomfortable, but they recovered in a big way. They responded and they closed this game out, getting points on every possession for the last 5 to 7 possessions down the stretch. And that's how you win a basketball game.
Yeah, it was sort of a tale of two halves there, Bob. Seemed like in the first half, LaSalle really came out strong, really dominated for the majority of the first half, despite some of the foul trouble that they got themselves into early. And then Wood came out very strong in the second half, really made a push, really forced their up-tempo style of the game, tried to get LaSalle uncomfortable, was successful early in the fourth quarter, got it down to about a 4 or 5 point game. And LaSalle coming out of that timeout, when we talked about 3 minutes left to go in that game, really took control, started figuring out how to break that press, and they finished out this game strong for a good win for the Explorers.
Very solid win. You're exactly right. It's a tough Archbishop Wood team. They're going to be a tough out in the Philadelphia Catholic League playoffs. This league is so deep. I mean, you talk about Archbishop Ryan that came in here the first game of the season. They're going to be around 500. This team is at 8-5. They're trying to win their last game against a tough Ryan team. Archbishop Carroll has come on of late. St. Joe's Prep has lost a few games recently. They're going to be out for blood on Sunday. I mean, this league is so deep. To be at that number 2 spot, obviously you guarantee that you're going to get a home playoff game. But to get, the 7-8 seed versus the 6 seed versus the 5 seed is so important. Why this game was a big win for LaSalle. And obviously nothing to rest on, but just to continue playing a high level of basketball. It's been a special year thus far for this team, and they're going to try to continue that as they move forward into the final stages of this season. One more game, and then the action-packed Philadelphia Catholic League playoffs. If they can do enough work there, off to the PIAA state playoffs. So this game, really just the beginning of what's going to be one heck of a stretch run for LaSalle basketball.
Yeah, and as we've seen over the years, there's never an easy path to the Palestra. You are never going to get, a cakewalk of a 7 or an 8 seed team. So even if LaSalle is able to win this last game, grab that number 2 seed, like you said, you're going to be getting a team that has to play in the playing game, but a team that is going to be coming off a win. They're probably going to be playing well at that point, and these are all good teams at the top of this league. So there's no easy game for LaSalle from here on out. They're really, they're going to have to come ready to play in their first-round playoff matchup if they want to advance onto the Palestra and then beyond.
What we've seen from this team, they're tough in this building. The last couple of games in this building, Bonner Prendy was as tough an atmosphere to play in as anything I've ever seen. Roman Catholic, they were with them to the final whistle, and now tonight they grinded out a very solid win against a really good Wood team. This building is becoming a fortress for LaSalle College High School, and I don't think anybody wants to come here.
I know. I was just looking over at the student section. The past couple games I've been here at LaSalle, I don't remember it being like that, 6-7 years ago when we went to LaSalle. The students have come out in droves. They've always come out for the football games, but they're making an effort to come out to these basketball games. And it's really, like you said, making this place a difficult place for teams to come in and play. And LaSalle is using it to their advantage. They almost stole a win there against Roman. They hung tough with them the entire length of the game. And obviously helped them here tonight against a tough Wood Vikings team, and they took care of them tonight.
LaSalle a winner. They take care of Archbishop Wood. As you mentioned, the Vikings fall to 8-5 in the Philadelphia Catholic League. And LaSalle improves. They maintain just those 2 losses in the Catholic League play. Their finale is at the road, or at Kelly Fieldhouse on the road against St. Joseph's Prep. Should be a good one. We'll be there with you for it. So it should be a great afternoon of basketball at the historic Kelly Fieldhouse. But that's it for us here tonight. Good hard day's work at the office. A lot of fun. For Kevin Long, for Gavin O'Donnell on the camera, I am Bob Long saying so long here from LaSalle College High School. And we'll see everybody on Saturday afternoon. And until then, have a wonderful weekend. Take care.